Welcome to Mindful Drawing. I'm Robert, and I'll be your guide on this meditation practice that enters a space of mindfulness through the act of drawing. We'll jump in pretty quick this week. It's going to be a very simple action of bringing our attention to just that moment of making the mark, trying to keep our attention on where we begin, how we move, how we end, bringing our breath into it as a guide for that repetitive attention, really going in deep to the space of that interaction between the pen or pencil and the paper, letting that immersive mindfulness, that deepness into concentration, attention, to concentration and awareness on the page of what we are doing, how we are engaging, will then drift back up, lift our eyes to see the whole and find pattern, opportunity, uniqueness, and play to let a drawing come out from that space of mindful engagement and interaction. I'm going to use a pen for most of it and probably bring a little bit of a pencil in at some point, so whatever you like to draw with will work just fine. Go ahead and gather your supplies, establish your space, and let's draw together. A nice, simple, growing dot formation with a lot of attention to the encapsulation of each moment as a meditation. So this one could grow into something. It could just be a line of dots, whatever kind of forms on your page. We'll see if we have some time between the entering in and the going out to just draw and play with what emerges there. But there is no shape, goal, or image to mind. We'll instead focus very inward on each moment. And so in the warm-up, getting a sense for your mark or your dot. I say a dot is in something simple and easy to make. So I'll probably do small circlish things. Pen, pencil, something fun could work as well, since it will all be quite simple. And so at first, making a few little squiggly dots, clockwise, counterclockwise, top to bottom, bottom to top, and feeling around just what moves with the hand. In the exercise, we'll begin to bring these together as a kind of representation of that pen or pencil taking these points on a little bit of a walk. We'll have one loose rule to follow, or a thing to pay attention to as we practice our presence and mindfulness, is that any new dot generally only touches two dots from before. So you kind of get this packing in of circles. Anywhere where there's two circles, a new one could spawn from that. But if it gets a little crowded, it tries to head away. And from time to time, that may end up with something accidental or funny, and maybe those become moments of entering into new things creatively. But we'll try to just keep the dots growing and bringing our attention to them. So if you want, for a moment, to feel out different sizes that feel comfortable, the size can shift and change throughout the drawing. Bigger ones may feel a little smoother, but also a little more challenging to complete. Work to the hand. Small ones, quicker, easier to make a circle, but also noisier in their roundness. But that's all we need to know, is making that little encircling of space is a mark that fills up a little bit more of the page than just a dab or dot. And we'll see where that takes us. Give yourself a moment to come into kind of contact between your eyes and that surface that you'll be working on, your hands, and that distance to the surface you'll be working with. Make any little adjustments you may need, just noticing if you're sitting comfortably, your posture is supporting you, if your hands reach evenly to any part of the paper that you'd like to draw on. After a little adjusting and acclimating to the space, take a couple of deep breaths. to center and ground. Maybe let out any morning tension, getting together, getting things going, letting it pass by for a moment so you have some time here. Softly entering into the exercise, and as you feel ready, picking up and engaging with your instrument, remember the making of the marks. Bring to mind the direction you want to begin with. Any of them are okay. Clockwise, counterclockwise, start at the top, start at the left, right, bottom. But bring it to mind, as the first thing we'll bring our attention to is the making of that mark in a conscious way, somewhere on that page, with that beginning in mind. Make the first incursion into the empty territory, that circle-ish dot marking space. Note what you saw and started with. Left side, counterclockwise for me. Anything that works for you. And that can guide the starting of the next dot. Roughly this side or that, and in direction of counterclockwise, the two dots kind of touching. And our loose rule to keep attention to of placing each new one is from now on, try to keep it so any one mark only touches two other. In the first several of these, will just keep in mind as you move at whatever pace feels good to you, staying with that same pattern. The side you start on, the direction you draw. Just a couple little parameters. And then letting the eyes help track in any of the gaps between two circles or another bubble can form and start reaching out to the space around. There's no form, no direction or pattern that we're looking for. Just a starting point that we know. A direction of movement to complete something out there on the paper. And a little guidance with a rule or logic for where another thing can begin. And if every once in a while you get ahead of yourself and draw in a different orientation, a different direction, starting in a different place, or pack a circle, gets a little bit tighter, notice it and move to the next one. Those moments of anomaly can become interesting as we work. With the sense or the pattern at play, knowing the simple rules of the game, start here, move here, move again, extend into space. These are using the internalization of that pattern, some time spent consciously bringing our awareness to it, helping to bring it inside. To then ease our way into developing a larger space of relaxation. Let our breath and oxygen support the functions of our body and relieve any tension that might be there. This might start to adjust the speed or tempo of drawing. We'll bring the rhythm of our breath into each new mark, adding one more layer of interaction, another layer of consciousness and attention to each piece. choosing a rhythm, but typically breathe in between moments of engagement, find the place of beginning, and initiate action on the exhalation. So, keeping some of the mind on that starting point, that starting direction, and that starting time now with the cycle of the breath. Things may slow down for a little while. To breathe in between each expression and out the motion of marking. Breathe in to check on all those notes of consciousness. Start here, move this way, follow the breath. Nestle the next circle in the space of two others. In that space of inhaling, of resetting, the mind can run through the checklist. Note the next steps, and then release it to let body take over. The repetition becoming ingrained a little bit. Slowness of the breath, helping to note and integrate all of those parts of making on the page. No rush to get anywhere. Just one breath at a time, one thought at a time, taking up a little more of the territory. That nice cycle of maybe slightly deep, maybe just more mindful, present breaths, connecting all these pieces. We begin to relax into that breathing cycle. Occasional moments of inhalation at the peak become the starting place of a movement, but a few acts of expression may happen between those peaks and valleys. A pause here and there to recenter on that inhalation, but feel free to let the hand move at its own pace in that space between. Taking note when the time for refreshing inhalation comes. You may take a slight pause, regather, and then work through a few rounds until the next big inhalation comes. Work for a couple minutes in this, finding your own tempo, your own rhythm. Just listening to the space around you, letting some silence envelop you as you work, and let the space grow on the paper. as you find a rhythm there to the cycles of inhalation and exhalation, of beginning, completing the mark. You'll be able to play some games now. We have established and integrated through our practice and attention the general rules or logic. The system can keep growing and expanding. The page may begin to become tight depending on the size of the paper. Maybe there's a lot of territory left to go. Begin playing with size, density, larger circles, reaching out to more territory, or smaller ones, filling in little spaces as things become compact. Playing there with each mark, noticing just that moment. It helps to slow down, feel free, or let the rhythm that's developed take you along the process, well integrated, giving some space to make those little changes, to make playful moments a little bit smaller, a little bit wider. Moving still with the inhalation and the exhalation. Keeping a mind on it, present and not getting overwhelmed in the movement, or the patterns. They're there. They might become interesting. Never still, just drawing a dot each time, marking a little circle, breathing in and out, letting the pen play across the paper. But as our eyes like to find patterns in things, moments of similarity, connection, geometry, we let our eyes scan over the surface we're making there, and perhaps notice some moments of tendency, see places where circles wrap around, come close to completing the hexagon, a shape with a center, maybe moments of long chains of shuffling back and forth, lines, curves that develop. The eyes start to see beyond the pencil. Guide a little bit more with the vision where you make your next few marks, where things could start to take shape, could start to be a form, geometrically, figurally. Noticing them, the emergence from the singular moments multiplied out to the many. Perhaps take a short rest with the hand as you feel ready, or make a few final marks, look across territory. Find something that stands out, clustering, or branching, whatever it may be. And if it draws you in, interests you, that may be a place to begin to break the rules, to bring some emphasis. I see these little flowers happening in many places where one more circle that now touches three completes a shape. I'll track along and look for these moments, bringing them to their completion as they are pushing through from beneath the intention of the drawing, pushing through the repetition of that simple series of moves to become present in my visual field. And the verse starts to push its way through into your mind from the configurations. Perhaps it's the gaps in between, an interesting outline, the little wiggly spine like a plant branching through the middle. Any feature there might call to you, or multiples, and begin to bring new attention to that, a subtle variation to that repetitive system, filling in a gap, bringing some tone or texture. Feel free to switch or play with other instruments, using pen, maybe some pencil to shade. And take a few moments to see what has happened there on the paper. See what you can bring from it, maybe even adding new conditions to the drawing, bringing emphasis, and just letting that pen communicate with the paper. Enjoying some time of drawing. And this time, more playful, exploring and experimenting to the expression, navigating the system, finding new moments of suggested engagement, new patterns and new scales, intensities of looking at the figure, everything from that way we started, the pattern of making the circle. One point in one direction gives it character, changes its shape, and each one similar to behavior, but unique to its condition, proximity to neighbors. Those little flicks or twists at the start or end point, potential places of engaging, dancing, reaching farther around, or the subtle areas where mind drifts from our attention in the drawing. We may find little accidents, circles that don't quite touch, times when we clustered many without noticing little gaps in the system. But open up new places, play, and invention. And keep working through those with little time spent on reflecting on your own process, your own engagement with this act of drawing, ways of getting started with something, defining a few simple movements, letting them unfold in space. And tracking it along to see where it might take you. Noticing again where your breath has ended up. You don't need to control it or guide it. Just making a note. Is it fast or slow? Heavy or light? a natural place of your engagement. Here, with a creative act, you may bring a shallowness to the breath that you hold in to the play, or maybe a nice, relaxing evenness to the breath. As you watch it, you may guide it without trying. Tension of the mind somewhere. Do thoughts pop in? Should be a little slower. I need a different rhythm. Watch the thought, notice, follow it if it feels right, or let it pass. Just see I am breathing. My hand is moving. Ink or graphite are flowing. The landscape slowly changing. Figures, shapes, moments emerging. The territory opens up. We could keep tracing through in layers, each layer bringing a new awareness to what is there. Each layer an opportunity for a new engagement with our attention, our mind, tracking through space, finding new patterns, new potential forms and expressions. Each layer one thing at a time. An idea followed until the rules present an opportunity to change. And so at any time, come back and forth to the canvas, to a drawing. Bring another layer of seeing or of imagining, see where it takes you. And knowing this, it's always an okay time to take a pause, to check in with the body, itself, make sure things are aligned. We won't necessarily get out of the groove. We just pick a place and start with that circle. This side, this direction, take a breath, move along. The mind will enter back in to each simple move to the larger territory as it holds what's in front of us. And as you're ready, let everything come to a rest. Let yourself take a few replenishing breaths. Let the hand relax a little bit, even out with the other arm, just giving them a little shrug and movement. Bring some symmetry back into the nervous system. And then if you're ready, bring your mind and your eyes back around you. Notice your space. You're ready to take the next little step of your day. In a little bit of time together, or for yourself, you might find a way to the beginnings of something, and that final reflection and meditation on how to enter a space of creativity, remembering that just a few little marks can get something started, a little bit of rules to build a logic internally so that over time we begin to see something. That can be the beginning of an emergence of a new thing, and now that it's started, maybe there's new opportunities percolating up in the mind, or just a new platform to begin again. New lines, new marks, new circles, layering on top of an old idea with something new, mapping a new territory, and seeing where it takes you. Or the drawing is where it is and what it is, and it goes away, you flip it over, you start again on the back. You let that convergence of mindfulness, of relaxation, and of creativity guide you. I like where mine is going, so I think I'll dive back in and spend another 15 minutes or so just drawing, adding, resolving into something on the paper. Hope you can take the same time for yourself. If not, enjoy what you do for the rest of the day and draw well. Thank you. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe for more mindful drawing each week. Give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Build this space of mindful creativity.